Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Honkai Star Rail video, and today we're going to do a character guide on Black Swan. If you're not familiar with Black Swan, she is a Wind Nihility character who specializes in DOTs with a special stacking Arcana debuff, right? So in this video, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at her best builds in terms of relics, light cones, all that stuff, and then we'll jump in and we'll look at her kit more closely, and we'll do a quick little showcase, right? So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and hop in. So I'm actually going to, so with characters I don't own, I actually go in and do the builds first, and then we'll look at the kit after. If I do have the character built, then I like to look at the kit first, right? So let's go ahead and we're going to hop in and we're going to go into the data bank. And let's go and start with light cones. Now, I think Nihility, and we're going to go to Nihility here. I think Nihility actually has a lot of very suitable options that you can use. Obviously, I think it's pretty straightforward that like the character's own light cone is going to be the best one, right? So that would be this Reforged Remembrance. Yeah, this is her best one. What you'll notice, qualities you're looking for in these light cones is you want things that boost effect hit rate, because Black Swan is going to be inflicting DOTs, and the DOTs will typically have a chance to trigger. Effect hit rate increases the chance, but you're also going to find with the Black Swan build that we're going to be doing is that she will have stats that actually scale off of effect hit rate. So by increasing effect hit rate, you're making her DOTs go off more, or like apply more, and then it's going to be helping her kit in other ways. So the reason why her own is so good is you're getting a really big fat effect hit rate boost. And then when you deal damage to an enemy that has one of the main DOTs, Wind Shear, Burn, Shock, Bleed, it grants a stack of Profit, which is another new stacking debuff, and that's really good. Characters like Black Swan want the enemies to be loaded with lots of debuffs, and so you're adding another stacking debuff, which is going to be really, really good. And then this is also going to add more DOTs and give more damage to Black Swan. So obviously, if you're going full premium build, you go with that. Now, if you happen to have Silverwolf's 5-star light cone from her banner, and you decide, like, because, you know, Silverwolf I see as more of like a support role. So let's say you went all in on Silverwolf and have Silverwolf's light cone. I would say you could give Silverwolf's light cone to Black Swan, and then have Silverwolf use like a 4-star one might be your better bet, right? So if you happen to have this, this is another effect hit rate up. But when you deal damage to an enemy that have 3 or more debuffs, you get further crit rate up, which is really good. So this is more of like a damaging light cone. And I talked about this one when I did Silverwolf's guide. I don't think this one's really that necessary for Silverwolf unless you're going high idle on dupes, because Silverwolf doesn't really get a lot of damage unless she's high idle on. So I see her as more of like a support type character that I just like putting down the type effect of weakness and doing her debuffs, but I'm not really worried about Silverwolf's damage. So I would say if you happen to have this, this is a great one you can put on Black Swan. You're going to get crit rate, you're going to get more increased damage, effect rate up, all that good stuff, right? Now, with 2.0, we did get some new 4-star options, and I think this one that's called It's Showtime is one of the newer ones. So this would be fairly accessible if you want to use it. So when you inflict the debuff, you get a stack of Trick. Every stack of Trick increases your damage, stacking up to 3 times. And it lasts for however many turns. And then when the effect rate is 80 or higher, it gives you a further attack up. So the one bad part about this is it doesn't actually give you effect hit rate, but it does scale your attack off of effect hit rate and give you more damage, and you're getting the extra trick stacks. So I think this one can be good because you're naturally going to be building very high effect hit rate. I think a good Black Swan build is going to be over 80% effect hit rate anyways. So as long as you're planning to do that, you could go with that one. The other one you could do is Good Night and Sleep Well. Oh, here, I should probably actually show, sorry, I'm looking at my screen and not actually showing them to you on the screen that you're looking at, right? So let's actually do that. So let's go back to, so this is the Silverwolf one I was talking about, so you could go with that one, right? And then It's Showtime, which I don't believe I have yet. Yeah, this one here, this I do believe is one of the new Pentacone ones. It's got Sparkle on it. I think this is going to be your best 4-star option. I think this is available in the Light Cone Manifest, so you should be able to just buy this. So I think that one could be a very good pickup for you if you're going to go in on Black Swan. And then the other one is Good Night and Sleep Well, which I think I actually do have that one. Yep, this one right here. This is another suitable option you can do. This one scales damage based on how many debuffs the target has. And remember, Black Swan is going to be doing a stacking debuff. So when you stack like your bleed, your wind shears, or like Arcana, for example, I believe each stack counts as a separate debuff. I could be wrong on that. So the stacks might scale this as well, which is great. And then this effect also applies to DOT. So this light cone is rewarding you for having more debuffs on the enemy, which is what a Black Swan team wants to do. And then this light cone itself applies its own DOT. So that's a very solid option you could pick. And then Eyes on the Prey would be the other one that you could do, which is this one right here. This is, once again, an older one that you might have. This one just increases your effect hit rate and increases your DOT. So even this one being like one of the maybe lower priority ones, I still think is a very solid option. You're getting effect hit rate, which is something you really want, and it's just increasing your DOT damage. So I think that one also can be good. So, you know, unlike some of these other ones, like I think the Hunt in particular is a light cone set that's fairly weak. Nihility, I think you've got a lot of great options for these characters. Once again, you want to increase your DOT damage, you want to increase your effect hit rate, apply more DOTs, any of that stuff is going to work. So I think any of these I talked about are fairly fine options you can do, right? So with that, let's go ahead and jump over to the Relics. And for the Relics, I mean, surprise, surprise, the new relic they just came out with is what you want, which is this Prisoner Deep in Confinement. This is what you want here, and the reason why is 2-piece set, you're just getting attacked, no big deal there. But on the 4-piece set, for every DOT the target enemy is afflicted with, the wearer ignores 6% defense when dealing damage to it, and it's valid for a max of 3 DOTs. So the reason why this is so good, it's got defense shred built into it, which is a very powerful mechanic in this game. You know, I've played some games where like doing defense down, we'll say like DOKKAN, for example, right, is almost worthless. In this game, it's the opposite. Like defense down is a ridiculously good thing to be able to apply to the enemies, and this has it built in, and it's rewarding you for having a lot of DOTs. So I think getting this at a 4-piece set is ideally what you want to do. Now, if you wanted to, you could, I suppose, pair it as a 2-piece set with like the wind set, but then you're just getting 12% attack up, and then you're just getting 12% wind, or sorry, 10% wind damage. To me, I wouldn't really recommend doing that, because you're just going straight up damage percent, but you're not really rewarding yourself for the DOTs, which is what you want to do. So I really think your only option is just go 4-piece of the new set. That's really what I would highly recommend to do there. And then in terms of what you should put on your body and feet, because once again, those are the 2 main stats you can control, right? Feet, surprise, surprise, you probably want to go speed. That's usually the stat you want, is speed there. It's going to be your main source of getting speed. If you feel like you're good on speed, or you want like a slower build, then just go like attack percent there. But I think on the feet, you want to go speed. And then on the body, I would say go effect hit rate. Whoops, actually go to the body here. Go effect hit rate if you can get it. Attack percent's a decent backup, but I think effect hit rate's going to be very, very good on your Black Swan, right? With that, let's go to the planner ornaments. So we'll go down here. I think you've got several suitable options you can do here, but I think the main one you want is the Pan-Galactic Enterprise, which is this one. This is the effect hit rate set. So for two-piece, you're getting effect hit rate up. And then your attack increases by an amount that is equal to 25% of your current effect hit rate, up to a max of 25%. So what this is going to do is not only giving you more effect hit rate, but it's rewarding you with like straight up attack percent based on the amount of effect hit rate you have. And then once again, some of the other parts we're talking about where like you want over 80% if you're using that light cone anyways. So you're just getting rewarded for having the effect hit rate. It means your Arcanas are going to be hitting like crazy, and you're going to be applying all those DOTs. So I think this would be my #1 choice to go for. There are always other suitable options. You could go with one of the speed sets. So that would be Space Sealing Station, which is going to just give you an attack up, and then you get more attack if you can get your speed over 120. If you're going to go even beefier on speed, then you go with the Mega Speed set, which is the Firmament Frontline Gilmoth, which is essentially the same as the last one, but you get a damage increase if you can get your speed above 135 or above 160. So if you're going with a really heavy speed build and getting really high speed, then you want to go with this one. But I would say the first one, the Pan Commercial Enterprise one, this is what I would go with, because I like to really have a theme with my characters and build into what they're doing, and really Black Swan is about DOT, so I would go with the effect hit rate set personally. That's what I would favor there, right? And then what you want to do here is on the sphere. You definitely want wind damage. It's the only place where you can get your element as a main stat. So go for that. Attack percent is fine as a backup, but I would definitely go with that on that. And then on the link rope, sorry, I actually have to click it here. So yeah, on the link rope, what you would do on the link rope is you would just go attack percent there. So that's what I would do for the relics and for the light cone. So with that, let's go ahead and we'll just hop into a quick showcase. I actually was pretty impressed with Black Swan's damage. I would say my assessment of her, of the should you pull, hasn't really changed. The way I see her, I think standalone, she does put up actually pretty solid numbers. But I think really to get the most out of her, you do want like a DOT type of setup. So my initial assessment was if you're running DOT teams already, she's very good, and like you probably should get her. If you're not running DOT, like running her standalone is going to be fine, but I still think like if I'm running a non-DOT team and it's just her doing the damage, I don't know that she's going to out-damage a character like Blade, right? So if you're just looking for big Unga Bunga wind damage, I would probably still go Blade over her. But once again, with this focus of DOT, I think she's very, very good. So let's go ahead. Let's start with her talent. So every time an enemy target receives a DOT at the start of each turn, there is a 61% base chance for it to be inflicted with Arcana. Now, here's what's going to happen. You're going to build her with a ton of effect hit rate. So this essentially will be like 100% chance because you're going to give her so much effect hit rate. So basically, every time they receive a DOT, they're going to get Arcana stacks, which is nice. While they are afflicted with Arcana, the enemy receives Wind DOT, scaled off of Black Swan's attack at the start of each turn. Each stack of Arcana increases the damage multiplier, so you get even more. So the more stacks, the more damage. And then Arcana will reset back to 1 stack once they take that DOT. It can stack up to 50 times. So that's a pretty big, pretty big stacking DOT. When Arcana causes damage at the start of an enemy's turn, Black Swan triggers an additional effect based on the number of Arcana stacks. So as long as there's 3 or more Arcana stacks when it triggers, it deals wind damage scaled off of her attack and to adjacent targets with a % chance of inflicting 1 stack of Arcana to the adjacent target. So once again, with your effect hit rate, you're probably going to get Arcana on the adjacent targets as well. So it kind of spreads like a virus, right? If there are 7 or more Arcana stacks, it enables the current DOT dealt this time to ignore 20% of defense. So provided you have at least 7 Arcana stacks, they're getting big DOT damage with defense shredding built in, which is very good. And then some other bonus effects she's going to have off of this. Once again, this is going to come from the traces. When the enemy enters battle, there's going to be a chance for it to be inflicted with Arcana. It's 65%, but once again, it's basically going to be guaranteed if you build her with effect hit rate. Every time they receive a DOT during a single attack by an ally, you have another base chance for the target to be inflicted with a stack of Arcana. Once again, it's going to be 100% every time you hit them, pretty much. Even though it says 65 here, you build her with effect hit rate. The maximum number of stacks that can be inflicted during a single attack is 3. And then another one, the Candle Flames Portent says increases this unit's damage by an amount equal to 60% of effect hit rate up to a maximum increase of 72. So this is the part of her kit that really screams just go all in effect hit rate because you're getting a big attack buff here in her talent off of that, right? Her basic attack deals wind damage scaled off of her attack with a base chance to inflict Arcana. It's going to be 100% if you build her with effect hit rate. Additionally, when attacking that target, suffers windshield, well, basically one of the DOTs, there is another chance of inflicting Arcana. So what it is the reason why you don't want to just use her by herself. If you have other characters that are doing wind shear, bleed, burn, or shock, they are helping you increase the Arcana stacks, which is really important to making her operate well. And once again, if you can get that thing up to 50 stacks, you're going to do some big damage, right? So that's pretty good there. On her skill, deals wind damage scaled off of her attack. And it's going to hit single target, but then splash into the adjacent targets. At the same time, there is a base chance of inflicting 100% of a stack of Arcana on the target enemy and the adjacent target, so it's going to be guaranteed. And then there is also a 100% chance of reducing the defense of the target by a percentage based on the level of the skill. So I think maxed out is probably going to be like 20%, maybe a little bit over that. So she's got defense shred built into her skill while applying the Arcanas, right? And then her bonus effect is after using the skill to attack a single target enemy that has wind shear, bleed, burn, or shock, each of these debuffs has a base chance of inflicting an extra stack of Arcana. So not only when you apply those extra DOTs, but when you attack an enemy with those, you just keep building the Arcana stack. So this is why you want to do her on a DOT focused team. Her ultimate inflicts Epiphany on all enemies, so this is a new unique debuff. While afflicted with it, enemies take increased damage on their turn. Additionally, if they also have Arcana, they are considered to be simultaneously afflicted with all of the DOTs. After Arcana causes damage at the start of each turn, the stacks are not reset. This non-reset effect of Arcana stacks can be triggered up to 1 time for the duration of Epiphany, and the trigger count resets when Epiphany is applied again, deals wind damage scaled off of her attack to all enemies. So to summarize it, the reason why this is ridiculous, let's say you get like 50 Arcana stacks on an enemy. Normally what happens, they take their turn, Arcana blows up, they take a bunch of damage, and then Arcana resets to 1. What this says is for 1 time after using the ultimate, it doesn't reset. So if you get Arcana up to 50, hit the ultimate, they blow up with the 50 stacks, and then they're going to keep the 50 stacks for at least 1 more time around. So it can really help beef up the damage. And then her map skill says after you use it, there is a base chance for each enemy to be inflicted with Arcana stacks at the start of battle, and then for each successful Arcana on a target, it inflicts another stack of Arcana on the same target. This process repeats until Arcana fails to be inflicted. So it's pretty cool. What happens is you load into the fight, and it just keeps stacking until it misses, basically, which is really awesome. So you could start off with like 6, 7, 8 stacks on an enemy immediately. So we'll try it out and see how lucky we get. So for each successive application of Arcana, its base chance success is equal to 50% of the base chance of the previous successful attempt. So this is another reason why effect hit rate is really good and why it's okay to be over 100%, because you can see this has a 150% base chance to inflict. So obviously it's going to inflict. Let's say your built-in effect hit rate is 80%. So then you're going to have like 230% of a chance for this to apply. So what's going to happen, it's going to hit, then it's going to minus 50%. You're still over 100, so it's going to guaranteed hit again. You're still over 100, it's going to guarantee hit again. So by getting your effect rate really high, allows this to guaranteed get like 3 stacks immediately. And then after that, you still have a chance to get more and more until eventually it fizzles out to nothing. So that's very good. But every time it just cuts your chance in half and half and half until it goes through. So that's pretty cool. I like that. So with that, yeah, let's go in and just check her out in battle. So we're definitely going to use her field skill, her map skill here. And we're going to see a bunch of Arcana stacks hit right away. I'm expecting at least 2 to 3. All right, so here we go. Yep, and it's going to show us all the stuff. So there you go, Arcana, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so you can see they all got a bunch. So the middle enemy got 4 stacks. This enemy... Oh, it's only the main enemy, huh? Oh, no, this guy's got 3 stacks. This guy's got 4 stacks. So, yeah, we hit 4, 4, and 3. You see, they already got a bunch of stacks of Arcana. So, what they did for the trial, they paired her with other DOT characters. So, Gwenaifen here does a lot of burn DOT. Let's go ahead and hit the blast. And you're going to see we're going to add more Arcana stacks. So, now you can see we're at 7 stacks on the middle enemy, 5 stacks there, 4 stacks there. We're just going to keep adding on to it. Natasha, I guess, is just going to do a blast. So there we go. The Arcana hit for 15k on the main enemy, and that was with only like 7 stacks, right? So the more stacks you can get really heavy damage. Now, what I would say is Sample is going to apply his stacks as well. So there, Arcana just popped off on him, took a bunch of damage. So when they take their turns, I mean, look at that. That was really good damage. That was 37k total damage to that enemy, combined with the other DOTs and things on him, right? So let's get the ultimate off here. This is going to make it so the Arcana stacks don't reset. So they're going to hold on to them now, right? So we'll go ahead and blast that. We'll keep the DOTs flowing. So let's see. We got 6 Arcana, 2 Arcana, 2 Arcana there. We'll just keep blasting away. Ooh. Yeah, so 70k damage on that turn just from the DOTs. So that's kind of how these characters operate, right? Like the on-turn damage isn't that crazy. But when the DOTs pop off, like you're going to see very heavy numbers. Well, let's do a normal. You see only 2,000 on a normal attack. Pretty weak. I mean, most characters' normal attack, to be fair, isn't that strong. We'll have Gwenaifen do her ultimate here. Hit some firecrackers. I feel like Gwenaifen and Yoimiya from Genshin are related. I feel like they are. If they did a crossover, they have to be related. All right, there we go. And then it just blows up very easily, right? So That's basically Black Swan. So like I said, I think if you're looking for like a standalone damage dealer, I would actually steer maybe towards a different character. But like, once again, if you're running DOT, she's going to be very good. I would say if you have Kafka, she's going to be immaculate, like amazing with Kafka. I think a Black Swan Kafka team is going to be insane. If you did Kafka, Black Swan, insert any DOT character and then a healer, like you're golden. Like that's going to be a really, really good team. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think of Black Swan. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.